Well, there we go, guys. That, my friends, was Dead Space. So, what are my final thoughts of Dead Space? I've played it once before, and I loved it, and I loved it even more the second time. It is definitely an instant classic within the I would categorize it as survival horror. Some people may not say that, because they do provide you with quite a few opportunities to buy items and find items and, you know, things like that, but it is still, at its core, the ideas behind the game are survival horror. And if not, horror. You know, it's a horror game. Plenty of good scares. The idea of these really freaky biological aliens being able to just take you over, even if you're alive, is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy, and it's terrifying. And being alone in space, now granted, you do have a few people talking to your ears pretty much the whole entire time, but being in space by yourself and alone and deathly alone, I mean, it's pretty freaky. Now, they did do right by the series in Dead Space 2. Took away a little bit of the horror. I mean, it was a still freaky game. There was quite a few shocking moments and scary moments with walking around the base, because in BioShock, or not BioShock, in Dead Space 2, you are, I believe, on Titan, on one of the moons of Saturn or Jupiter, one of the two. I don't quite remember, but it's the moon, Titan, giant. I mean, in terms of moons, like, at least compared to our moon, it's really big. And there's a space colony there. And I believe you're there the whole game. I never finished Dead Space 2, so I don't know. But again, the necromorphs are there, and it doesn't look good. So, between 1 and 2, those both were received very, very well. And then the third, which I have not played, I just haven't played it yet. I heard it's received not as well because it's more focused on action, and co-op is a big part of it as well. But as for Dead Space 2, the gameplay is awesome. Very, very good. I would say play with a controller, even if you're playing on PC, just because there is a weird mouse acceleration issue. Now, I know you can probably fix it with eye tweaks and things like that, but I just didn't want to do that, because the first time I played it was with a controller, so that's how I felt comfortable with the game. But besides weird mouse controls, I'm sure you could probably play it on keyboard, no problem. Controller's where I felt at home, though, with this game. Now, as for the story's pretty good, if not kind of like, kind of generic-y in a way. But at the same time, I do like that religious twist to it. That is a pretty good thing that will be brought up in the second game and probably the third game. Again, I haven't played it, so I don't know. But that religious twist and added sympathy towards the necromorphs from them is really, really good, and I really like that part of the story. And how it kind of wrapped up its little bit at the very end by amplifying the, going to the areas with a ton of unitology writings on the walls and things, and hidden messages with unitology, like that one Easter egg. That was pretty cool, I like that as well. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun game, and I really liked this playthrough. I thought this playthrough went over very well. Now, I know these episodes are fairly long. It would be different if it was just a standard playthrough. I would make them about 15 minutes long and completely disregard the chapters. But since this was for the month of terror, I figured make them long episodes, break them into chapters, make them easy to digest. And again, the way I make my content is you guys don't have to watch everything. Come watch what you want. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, hey, fine by me. It's just kind of how I run things. But yeah, gameplay's solid. Storytelling was pretty solid. Voice acting was okay. I mean, there wasn't that many people talking in the game. The audio recordings were done pretty well. They're the little audio log things. Those are pretty good. But for the most part, not too much dialogue. Isaac's screams were pretty good. Isaac does speak in the second and third game, however, so keep that in mind. And a lot of people claim that the only time you saw Isaac's face was at the very end. That's not true. You could actually see it in the beginning of the game, very, very beginning. Right when you land inside the Ishimura, when everyone's saying, okay, let's get off, let's get ready to go, you can actually spin the camera around at that point and look at his face when he's putting his helmet on. So next time you play, try that. I just didn't want to spoil the big reveal at the end here to show his face. but you can see his face at the very beginning and very end of the game, which I think is kind of cool. But yeah, I like this game. One of my favorites? Maybe not. Good game on its own? Definitely. And it is a big mark of the last generation. And like I said, it will be remembered as one of the best. One of the best in horror. Because what it did very well. So, with that, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this playthrough and everything else that's going up right now during the month of terror. And as always, I've been Hello Japan. This has been Dead Space, part of the month of terror. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya!